This is Woody and we're doing some tube testing. This is what the tubes typically look like. This is what happens to them when they have air in them. They almost immediately burn up. All 5 of those are of course duds. That's why they're over there. Alright, we're going to set this up here. See if we can't get the camera to situate itself. At least until I can get things organized. Alright. Don't need the light. Alright. So we're going to get a baseline. This is my transmitter. This is my amplifier. Turn the amplifier on. It's got a couple of tubes in it. And we're going to get a baseline to see just how much power it's got. Got a scope up here, which I think you can see. And what we're going to do is set this thing up for CW. And we're going to adjust this thing up here. Let's see here. 2.9 G 1.6 165, and we're going to be running into a dummy load, which is just a big resistor to absorb the power so we're not transmitting. Alright, let's see what we got here. Alright, there's the scope. I'm going to peak it up for maximum. And try to tune this thing down a little bit. Let's see, dummy load wants echo. All right. I'll get this camera over here so we can see what we got. All right. This is a watt meter, and this is showing how much power is coming out. Right now it's about 500 watts. Let me get this on a smaller scale. There we go. 500 watts out. It looks a lot like that. Transmitter is really sucking some power. So that's what our tubes are in here. And we're going to turn that off. Let it cool a moment, and we're going to open up the package here. So back to the stationary camera. Cecil B. DeMills, where are you? Okay. If you don't fall down, we're good. Just got the package today. It's Wednesday. And it's about 14-20 hours. Alright, let's see what we got. Oh my, a letter. Holy mackerel. There is no popcorn in here. Huh. Good. Peanuts is really bad. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Let's see how it all comes out. First tube. And, oh my, I need a cavalry here to get these apart. I didn't realize that they were so well packed. Alright, here's a nice one. Pretty clean. I'm standing up over here, packaging away, and unencase this. Okay, here's the Amperex, I guess it is. 1, 2. What counts as more than 4. Okay, what's this? Oh, somebody's got eye. Who is that? That's a Taylor tube. Just a different manufacturer. Same kind of thing. Ah, the other Amperex. Always nice to have a pair. Alright. This is going to take a little while. Alright. Now for the magic markers. Label these guys. Number 1, firstborn. Number 2, number 3, and then the Amperex tubes will make them 4 and 5. All right. Oh, nice handwriting. Let's see. this all turns out. I'm going to open up the cabinet. And take the other tubes out. Okay. There's my one tube and my other tube. These tubes have markings on the top. They're identified with marks on the top, so not to be confused. All right, let's try Amperex first. The high voltage is off, which is a good thing. And Amperex number 2. Actually, number 4. Okay. In and in. All right, I'm going to move the camera again, so we can watch the startup. That's where they usually are bad, if they're bad. Okay, tube on the left, tube on the right. Here goes the filament power. Okay, that one lights up, and that one lights up. They both light up. No smoke. How nice. That's an improvement. Okay, back to testing. High voltage on, and transmit. Okay, I got 100 watts. Let's tune it up here, make sure it's right. Oh boy. Come on. That's only about 100 watts. Those are really soft. That means that they're weak. 150, 175, way short of 500. Oh man, I was hoping the Amperexes were hot. They looked clean. Anyway, we got a smaller signal here, about 4 centimeters, and about 200 watts. So they're about half power. All right, we'll take those two out of there. So now the Amperexes are rated about half what my tubes are, and my tubes are of course used. Amperex out, Amperex out. And let me just go here with 3 and 2. Gotta balance things here. The phone doesn't have an adapter on the back. It's really quite surprising. There's no screw hole for a, what do you call it? No screw hole for a tripod. A little disturbing, I find. Alright, that one's in, and this is number 2. Didn't take long to test them out if you got a rig, a transmitter. Screws a little loose, so we'll tighten the screw a little safer. Okay, now we're going to light up the filaments again. That's the first simple test. Pass these Amperexes, they're a little hot right now. Ooh, HOT. Alright, filament test. Here we go. Well, they both lit up. Hot darn, neither one of them smoked. Well, that's a positive thing. Okay. Now I've got to work around these hot tubes. High voltage on, and transmit. Holy mackerel, look at that. Bingo bango. Gotta get this as close as I can get it. Alright, there you go, my dear. That's 650 watts. Mine was 500. Mine are, of course, a little old, but these are definitely better. So, number 3 and 4 is a winning combination. I can't tweak it up anymore. So, about 650. And it's sucking down the power. And tubes are just looking great. Okay, I'm happy with those. High voltage off, filament off. Those are definitely hot now. Okay, got one more tube to test here. Number one. This is a Westinghouse. All right. Now we got 650 with the pair of number 2 and 3. I'm taking out number 2 and I'm putting number 1 in its place, so we get a relativistic reading. Okay. I sure wish that those tubes, the Amperexes, had been good, because those are real solid tubes. I think the plate's graphite. I think that structure right there is graphite. It's a really sturdy tube, but unfortunately they were weak. Okay, now we really got some hot tubes. Go away. All right, filament check again. Here we go. Uh-oh, number 1's bad. Number 1's toasty. That's what happens. I tell you, the filaments are bad in a bunch of these. Okay. And you saw the one I showed you before where it started out, instead of being a Christmas tree ornament. Number 1 is a snow globe. So number 1 is totally dead. Number 2 and 3 are better than what I've already got. And number 4 and 5 are weak sisters, which is unfortunate because those are graphite plates and those would be better. So, 2 out of 5 is 100%, and 2 out of 5 is, what did it say, 150 watts, something like that. So they're about 30% of good. So they're kind of weak. So, there's the test. This is the amplifier. And we were only putting in a very low power, 19 watts of driving power, and we're getting as much as 650 out. But this is what happens to those filaments. You have a perfectly clean tube. This is the Westinghouse tube. I'm glad I got 5, because one of them was bingo. Alright, I'll read the note here and get this video finished up. Enjoy, Woody.